that is the equity graph of our first trading bot that we backtested through this current build that we've got going on here. And these are basically the parameters that this trading bot is currently running under. So this is the more or less the settings file for my trading bot that I built. This was obviously built over conversation with Claude directly over a few days, more or less. This was obviously created through over a few days through prompting with Claude that I had done. Very basic prompting. My general kind of rule was to initially we discussed what was possible strategies that you could implement in this market specifically. We had a very rough starting point, and then again through prompting further and discussing how you would improve on that, and push it to try and make suggestions for possible improvements it could make. We had a 98% loss with the first bot that we released, and that was the first one after that initial prompting with Claude, and that was the one that Claude was testing and showing that it was profitable, but obviously the data was like super inaccurate. I'm not sure exactly how it simulated that data when it tested it. So yeah, definitely eye-opening. And now we're at the point where what it's actually doing in terms of its strategy, I don't fully understand it all, or I barely understand it at best. So yeah, I've kind of decided, I've gotten to the point now where I feel as though we need to kind of restart and change the strategy moving forward. And I'm going to do that now, I think, before I get too invested in this particular bot that we have going. I'm not going to like completely delete it. I'm still going to leave it here. And when I have launched this bot with Claude, I was under the impression that I would be actually running the bot straight away. Either on testnet or on mainnet. And I've now come to the realization that that's not going to happen. And I think what I'd really need to focus on is the backtesting process. Obviously getting the trading strategy locked down, a more suitable trading strategy that I understand and I can explain without having to, read a bunch of jargon. I think starting off a bit simpler and then building a really solid backtesting foundation, I think is going to be super, super important and super beneficial moving forward with this initial bot project. So yeah, it's just going to be, instead of launching a full bot ready to go, it's going to be a strategy, have the all of the technicals around the strategy locked down, not needing to have to actually launch this thing on any network, but we will need to be able to backtest it and ideally backtesting it with data from markets that we're going to be trading on in the future, which at this point for me, especially with trading things like futures and perpetuals and things like that, Bybit's probably going to be the market that I'll be doing that on specifically. So it's at the point now where I'm making changes to something that I don't understand already. So understanding what those changes are doing when you don't understand what the thing is yeah, not good at all. So I'm basically finding myself that if I keep going down this rabbit hole, I'm going to be in complete disarray. So yeah, we're going to focus on, as I said, understanding and feeling really confident with exactly what what this thing is doing. I think is really important. So I'll put a little what I might just put like the actual image over the screen here. But one of the earlier attempts at the trading bot, we actually got the profit factor up pretty high, up to about 0.94. So that's pretty awesome. And I I have a bit of a gut feeling that that's possibly as high as this thing is going to get. So yeah, so here's what's happening. I'm archiving the bot. As I said, I'm not deleting it. Everything that we've done so far is going to stay documented. I'm still going to keep all of the files. I will obviously still have the Claude conversation that I have going, and that'll still stay there as well. So we will be able to come back to it in the future if we'd like to. Maybe, what I'm thinking maybe is if I get better at this, that at this whole process and get more of an understanding of the actual trading mechanics that are going on there. In the future, maybe I can come back and with that more of an understanding, be able to change what's already there or update it slightly and make it, possibly profitable. That'd be really cool, and I think that'd be interesting. Yeah, we're going to be going back to basics with the whole process here. And what does that actually mean? So a few rules I'm going to be implementing. Rule one is going to be I need to be able to explain the entry logic in one sentence with no jargon. Rule two, I'm not adding a new filter or feature until I've actually proven the simple version does or doesn't work. Rule three, the testing loop needs to be faster. So yeah, as I said, backtesting is going to be super important. I think backtesting is going to be really crucial here, and I really need to nail that, I think, in this next build here. The next video, we're going to obviously start looking for that strategy. Something classic, something simple, something that I understand, and obviously, something that's going to fit my rules moving forward for this project. Um, and yeah, much faster loop. Need to be able to backtest that way quicker than what I've been currently doing. That's going to be crucial. And yeah, I think I'm going to need to be testing this as well. If you've got any strategy ideas, any trading strategy ideas that fit my rules and you think might be interesting, let me know. Drop a comment, message me. Hopefully, this is going to be somewhat interesting for people to watch. I'm sure that there are other people out there who feel um, super interested in this topic and maybe don't have any technical experience or much of an understanding about it generally. Um, this is going to be a cool journey to go on together. So you guys, thank you so much for watching. Catch you all in the next one. And yeah, peace.